Okay, here we go. Psalm 47. Clap your hands, all you nations. Shout to God with cries of joy. How awesome is the Lord Most High, the great King over all the earth. He subdued nations under us, peoples under our feet. He chose our inheritance for us, the pride of Jacob, whom he loved. God has ascended amid shouts of joy, the Lord amid the sounding of trumpets. Sing praises to God, sing praises. Sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of all the earth. Sing to him a psalm of praise. God reigns over the nations. God is seated on his holy throne. The nobles of the nations assemble as the people of the God of Abraham, for the kings of the earth belong to God. He is greatly exalted. Psalm 48. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. Oh, my alarm is going off. Okay, sorry. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. In the city of our God, his holy mountain, it is beautiful in its loftiness, the joy of the whole earth. Like the utmost heights of Zephon is Mount Zion, the city of the great King. God is in her citadels. He has shown himself to be her fortress. When the kings joined forces, when they advanced together, they saw her and were astounded. They fled in terror. Trembling seized them there. Pain like that of a woman in labor. You destroyed them like ships of Tarshish, shattered by an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord Almighty, in the city of our God. Come on, page. God makes her secure forever. Within your temple, O God, we meditate on your unfailing love. Like your name, O God, your praise reaches to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is filled with righteousness. Mount Zion rejoices. The villages of Judah are glad because of your judgments. Walk about Zion, go around her, count her towers, consider well her ramparts, view her citadels. I think I'm saying that right. Consider well her ramparts, view her citadels. I don't know what that is. I should look it up. Anyway, I'm not going to. That you may tell of them to the next generation. For this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide even to the end. That just made me think of something. I had a friend that once told me, how did she explain this? This part right here, that you may tell of them to the next generation. I think it's so important to remember the things God has done for us, to actually write them down, and so that we can tell them to the next generation, so we can tell our children. So this was a conversation quite a few years ago, but she was saying, imagine what the children going through the desert on the way to the promised land, and there was all this grumbling and complaining, and they weren't satisfied that God was just giving them a little bit of bread every day to sustain them. And there was, I think, the two boys, so God did all these crazy, amazing miracles. He parted the Red Sea. He did all these plagues on Pharaoh, who was holding the prisoners, holding the Israelites captive. He made them slaves, and Moses went there to free them. And so God parts the Red Sea. He gets them out of there, and they're in the wilderness, and God's giving them little bits of bread and giving them fire and water. He told Moses to strike a rock and there'd be water, and he's providing. Like, God's provision is happening. And so this whole group of people are going out, and they're going through the wilderness on the way to the promised land for 40 years. So by the time they get to the promised land, that original generation of people that left Egypt, they are old and they have children. But can you just imagine some of the camps, some of the homes, there would people be grumbling probably like to their kids, yeah, God barely gave us anything. We just got a little bit of bread and a little bit of water, and we were better off as slaves back in Egypt. You know, we should have just stayed there. And that's what their kids are hearing. That young generation was like, yeah, we barely get anything. It sounds like it was so much better back in Egypt. But there were certain families that must have been saying, hey, guys, I know we're only eating a little bit of bread right now, but guess what? Our God, he parted the Red Sea back there for us to get out of slavery. He is making a way where there seems to be no way at all. He put frogs and crap on the bad Pharaoh that was enslaving us before you were ever even born. And those families that were just telling their children about the goodness of God and God's provision, those were probably the boys, Jacob, I think it was Jacob and Caleb, that actually went into the promised land to overtake the people because God said to. Anyway, how did I just get off on that tangent? Because it said that you may tell of the, so that you may tell of them to the next generation. It's our job to remind our kids of the things God has done for us, the ways he did show up, the ways he provided for us. It might not have been what we wanted. It might not have been what we thought he would do, or it might not have been what we were hoping, but he still has sustained us, and we need to remind the next generation about that. Like, God will provide. God did provide. God did this in my life, and he did this. Oh, do you remember that one time that deer crossed our path on the road and we didn't hit it? And I believe that was God's protection. And just remind our children, hi, Doll. Hi, Dolly. Dolly girl. Okay, I'm off on a tangent. Oh, 7 minutes. Okay, I gotta keep reading. Okay, Psalm 49. Hear this, all you peoples. Listen, all who live in this world, both low and high, rich and poor alike. My mouth will speak words of wisdom. The utterance of my heart will give understanding. I will turn my ear to a proverb. With the harp I will expound my riddle. Why should I fear when evil days come, when wicked deceivers surround me? Those who trust in their wealth and boast of their great riches, those who trust in their wealth and those of their great riches, no man can redeem their life of another or give to God a ransom for him. The ransom for a life is costly. No payment is ever enough, that he should live on forever and not see decay. For all can see that wise men die, the foolish and the senseless alike perish and leave their wealth to others. Their tombs will remain their houses forever, their dwellings for endless generations, though they had named lands after themselves. But man, despite his riches, does not endure. He is like the beast that perishes. But man, despite his riches, does not endure. He is like the beasts that perish. This is the fate of those who trust in themselves and of their followers, who approve their sayings. Like sheep, they are destined for the grave, and death will feed on them. The upright will rule over them in the morning. Their forms will decay in the grave, far from their princely mansions. But God will redeem my life from the grave. He will surely take me to himself. Dolly, do not be... I don't know what that word is. Overawed. Oh, overawed. Do not be overawed when a man grows rich. Ooh, that's good. Do not be like impressed when a man grows rich, when the splendor of his house increases, for he will take nothing with him when he dies. His splendor will not descend with him. Though while he lived, he counted himself blessed, and men praise you when you prosper. He will join the generation of his fathers, who will never see the light of life. A man who has riches without understanding is like the beasts that perish. Ooh, that's good. Oh, getting a call from Brayton.